I watched every second of the Orlando Magic's 3 scrimmage games in Orlando before this NBA restart, trying to take a look at what does this team need to get over the top. Obviously, we know Vucevic, really good shooter, does his job well. Is it Aaron Gordon? Does he have another level to unlock? Is it Jonathan Isaac, the guy a lot of people call the X Factor? High energy guy, top pick. Markelle Fultz, speaking of top picks, former number 1 overall pick. Does he have what it takes to be their point guard of the future? To be the guy for this team going forward? Does Mo Bamba have another level to reach? Top 6 pick has been a disappointment so far. How do the Orlando Magic get over the hump? Let's dive deep into this video, into all their film in Orlando. First of all, 6-3 in their last 9 games before the season was over. They were first in offensive rating, finally turning a corner. It seemed a bit there. Before that, overall in the season, 24th in offense, 10th in defense. That's kind of been their story. Good defensive team, good playoff defensive team. But do they have enough firepower offensively to get it done? Vucevic, like I said, very capable from 3, taking the most of his career. 4.5 a game, shooting 33%. Sometimes does he fall in love with it a little bit too much? That might be a valid criticism. 20 points, 11 rebounds, a steal and a block. Another thing, though, that does worry me about him, is the opponent's offensive rating is over 4 points higher with him in the game than with him on the bench. He doesn't have great instincts around the rim. Look at him here. He's guarding JaVale. You can't step up all the way here with LeBron at the free throw line. I understand you're worried about LeBron, and when he gets all the way to the basket around here, that's when you can step up. But when LeBron's outside, even the paint right here, you can't leave JaVale uncovered at the rim. That's an easy lob every single time. He's got to improve his rim protection. You see again here, in transition, yes, you're guarding JaVale. Yes, LeBron's pretty good. But as the 5-man, as a big, you better at least get in the paint, get outside the charge circle, either try to take a charge or get a good contest with verticality. He gets a little soft around the rim, not going to lie. They need more out of him if they want to have a chance in the playoffs, make any sort of splash. Terrence Ross, professional scorer. Expect a lot of this out of him in all the games. You're going to see him running off constant pin downs. This is their over-under play for him. Starts with a little kind of rip screen right here, and then he's got his choice to go off of either big. You see the other wing is going to be up top and kind of mirror him. He's going to come off opposite whichever side Ross comes out to. Ross usually prefers to come out on this right side of the court right here. And if he doesn't have a shot, he's going to pull the ball back out. Patrick Patterson switched on him here. Not a good matchup for the Clippers. Ross, again, has really improved over his career, finding ways to get buckets, adding solutions to his game. You see him again cutting off the flex type, coming off his preferred side, pulling it back out, this time into a step-up pick and roll, and then Michael Carter-Williams, who I'll talk a lot about as the video goes on. His one flaw, again, making shots consistently. 29.5% from 3. He's never broken 30% throughout his career. He just cannot make jump shots consistently. Ross certainly can. You see the staggered pin down for him here. Lou Williams, you're going to shoot the gap, you're in trouble. Again, he's a big-time scorer for them. Really provides a lot of punch that way off the bench. They love to run after timeout plays for him. This decoy high pick and roll into a pin down. Dwight ends up stepping up. Equals dump-off pass. Kem Birch does a solid job. As a backup big, Aaron Gordon talked about earlier, is there another level? It's basically now or never. He's in year 6 after peaking at 17.5 points per game in 17-18, 16 last season, only 14.5 so far this season. Some of it seems to be shot selection. That's not the best shot you can take in the course of a possession with 14 seconds on the shot clock. Can he do this more often? Can he be a guy that can handle the ball, play a little point forward, make good decisions in transition, attack the basket? A 4 of his size and athleticism and ball handling ability, you'd think should be able to do this stuff more often. But for a guy who's a dunk contest champion and such an athlete, sometimes it seems like he just kind of gets small around the basket. Right here, I'd like to see him really explode up and finish that. I know he got hit. I'd like to see that be a dunk, though. There's just too many times when you see that from Aaron Gordon, despite all the talent that he has. He's a decent feel for the game, pretty good passer, gets some assists, but hasn't really reached the next level with that either. If he can make reads like this more frequently, again, it seemed like they were making more of a concerted effort in these scrimmages, let him handle the ball in transition. His fundamentals, not phenomenal. Likes the spin move, doesn't have a whole bunch of different things to his game. But again, you see flashes of that talent. You see him putting it down here on the catch and go, attacking the long closeout, the no-look dump-off pass. And with him, he's got to consistently make shots. 30% from three this year, 32% from his career. He rebounds, he gets some assists, he defends reasonably well. But none of it seems to be at the elite level that his draft pick seemed to suggest, or that his incredible physical tools seem to suggest. He'll have that nice elbow pull-up we saw in the last possession, and then just odd shots like this here, where it's almost like he doesn't really have a go-to move, doesn't really know exactly what he wants to get to. Certainly against a good defender there in LeBron. And then defensively, certainly has the talent, but can he stay locked in like this all game long? On the rear view contest, blocking Kawhi Leonard from behind. Can he provide that consistency? James Ennis. We'll look at, again, the established guys first. A veteran, but a great cutter. Good finisher around the basket. Constantly slashing on baseline probes. He is not respected as a shooter on the outside, so he's going to always slash his way into the paint. DJ Augustine and him have a nice chemistry. Does a good job finding him. Jonathan Isaac, like I mentioned, is he the X factor? Obviously, only got to play in one game in Orlando, still working his way back from a knee injury, but that one game, he provided a big spark. He was making shots. When you talk to people there, he's the guy that could be the guy. The former sixth pick has improved steadily each year in his third year now. Defense much, much better as a team with him on the court. Overall, 33% from three, 12 points, 7 rebounds a game, 3 stocks or steals and blocks in nearly 30 minutes. Makes an impact, 33% from three, makes his free throws. Lot to look at there, what we see out of Jonathan Isaac down the stretch of this season. Tremendously talented. DJ Augustine, unrestricted free agent after this season, but he does a phenomenal job as a backup point guard. I think basically the discussion's probably between him and MCW. Who do they bring back? Who's going to back up potentially Fultz next season? Augustine, again, you know what he does. He is such a savvy vet, so good at keeping defenses on his back, so good at these wrong foot finishes to throw off the timing of shot blockers around the basket. Really, really crafty player. Really good shooter. Just gets it done. Solid vet. You need those type of guys around. Definitely a good mentor for Fultz as well. Michael Carter-Williams, like I mentioned, might be kind of figuring it out, who he is. Second year with Orlando, playing some backup point, mostly a ball handling backup too. 7 points a game, good defense, pretty good assist-to-turnover ratio. His fatal flaw, again, is just that inability to space. But he's doing a much better job using his size around the basket, being crafty, keeping defenders on his back. Again, just 25.5% career three-point shooter. Never broken 30%. Best chance to do it this year. You see again, here's the spark that Isaac provided in his one scrimmage game. Fultz only had one scrimmage game as well, getting his way back into shape. But again, you can see, didn't totally have his legs underneath him, but he is a talented dude. I really think he's the future there. I think he's got all-star type potential. His game kind of reminds me a little bit of Andre Miller. He's like herky-jerky, just finds a way to get to his spot, get to where he wants to go. He's always kind of bouncing around. The shot's gotten better, the touch has gotten better. That's obviously still a pretty decent question mark, but you know how little we heard about this. If he was still playing for Philly, it's so funny how much more attention this would probably get. In Orlando, there's not nearly as much media attention on him. He's still got this weird-looking shot, a little bit of a hitch, but you know what? It looks a lot better. He's shooting it with a lot more confidence. He looks competent enough. His field goal percentage overall this season way up, and then overall he just has a really good feel for the game. Plays a ton out of this pistol set here. Defense is in the ice. Does a nice job keeping his back to his defender, engaging too, finding Kem Birch with the drop-off. Birch has got to do a better job finishing that. And then got the potential to be a big-time defensive player. Does a good job jumping up into the ball here, getting his hands in the passing lane. Big-time steal, strip guy. There we go. Feed Kem up ahead. That one will finish. You see Pistol again here. Great Nash dribble, attacking the baseline. They love to run. Again, this offense with him in the game because they basically just trust him to read the floor, make plays. Bit too many guys cut on that one, but still, Fultz does a great job staying in attack mode, getting to the basket. One guy I'd like to see in a lot more attack mode, Mo Bamba, former 6 overall pick. Look at this, horns action. He should be the 5-man here. I'm pretty sure, especially when the ball comes off his side and when he's the 5, Gary Clark's the 4. Bamba should be rolling here. For some reason, he's telling Gary Clark to, probably because he wants to just stay outside and shoot. All right, he shoots the ball decently well, but is that all he really brings? What else does he bring? He loves to float out there. He put on 20 pounds of muscle, but still spends almost all his time outside the three-point line. And I heard, even though he says he put on 20 pounds of muscle, it's a good thing. I hear coaches seem a little skeptical of it, that it's hurt his conditioning, that it's not exactly what he needed. But again, he can make shots. 30% last year, 35.5% this year from 3, but otherwise, his game's basically stagnated. No other big signs of improvement from year 1 to 2. Again, has a tendency to get small around the basket. When Ross draws 2 defenders, I know Bol is a pretty big guy, but you got to have a go-to, step through, shot fake, something. He gets all discombobulated, ends up traveling there. And then look at this one. Again, you catch the ball like that deep on an offensive rebound, you got to go right back up. That's got to be a dunk. Dunk or a layup right away. Explode up. It's just not very explosive. Seems like he plays a lot smaller than he is. Defensively, guy that should be pretty good, has all the tools, definitely long and big enough. Look at Mason Plumlee. Just turn him around. You can't get turned around on a behind-the-back move by Mason Plumlee. End up fouling him. He's got to get a lot more fundamentally solid, and then it does seem like the mental, a lot of times, is what hurts him as well. Look at this. Just mind-boggling. He's got to get his head more in the game. He's got to start making smart plays, playing like a top pick. Otherwise, time's going to be up before you know it in Orlando for him to really turn a corner. What you do love about Orlando, like I said, 10th in defense. They play hard. Steve Clifford, one of the best defensive coaches in the league. They have a lot of bodies, like a Wundu, like Michael Carter-Williams, like Terrence Ross, that are going to get down in a good stance. Gary Clark, a Wundu, you see again. Birch, guys are in a stance, high hands. Too many people have a tendency to judge possessions just by the end. I know this shot goes in, but that was very good defense overall by the Magic. They have, again, big believers obviously in wingspan, have a lot of length on the ball, and then what do they do as well as any team in the league? They pull in on pick and rolls. What do I mean by that? They're still playing man-to-man here, but look how it's going to shift into almost looking like a zone, because even though Bamba is engaged with the ball here, we got 2 on the ball. Look at this defender. Is going to pull all the way over Terrence Ross to the strong side to be in help. This guy right here, Gary Clark's going to come take the roller. Noah. Michael Carter-Williams can have a foot in the paint. Basically, these 3 guys are zoning up on the weak side, and they do that so aggressively. The only thing that scares me, honestly, going to lead to a lot of threes. Their bottom 7 team in opponent three-point percentage, they were giving up a ton of threes in these scrimmage games because they're being so aggressive. You see again, Fournier, as his man gets out, look at him. He's going to just stay in, be ready to defend. If JaVale rolled here, turned out it was a little counterplay. James Ennis, good hands. Again, they're a big-time strip team, always slapping at the ball from behind, staying active. Offensively, what will they run? A lot of simple things. You see a horns action again here. Aaron Gordon's going to roll, seal Danny Green on the switch. Be nice. Him and Vooch are starting to get a pretty good chemistry with that together. You see this time Vooch is the roller. They're going to swing the ball into a simple post-up for him. A lot of simple things. Again, they keep turnovers down, run a lot of basic sets. On the repost here, Vooch got that turnaround in his game. They're going to execute what they run. After timeout play, this play is becoming like every team in the league is running this. You see Fournier is going to set this decoy rip screen, but really just like slip out of it to come right off a pin down from Vooch. Fournier, professional scorer, don't have to worry about him. He's going to make a lot of shots. Really high-level shooter. Again, Clifford's great with these ATOs. Always they get good looks out of it. Pin down into a hand back, into a step up. Vooch, Denver pulls in defensively. Cutter's on the weak side. Look who's open. Fournier, again, in the corner. He's going to make shots. High-level shooter. Speaking of shooting, though, again, one thing that's their Achilles heel as a team, especially when guys are working their way back from injury. If Ennis has to play a lot, very inconsistent shooter. Gary Clark, inconsistent shooter. He made some in Orlando. I'll give him credit. He shot the ball with confidence, but they have a lot of wings who just are very hit or miss from three. Really, in my opinion, is what hampers them as much as anything, why they're 24th offensively. It's about Aaron Gordon making that leap, and then it's about guys miss league, making shots. Look at this possession. This possession really epitomizes it. How many chances they get on this one. Frazier misses, Terrence Ross misses, they get offensive rebounds, they play hard, but they just cannot buy a basket sometimes. How do they get over the hump? Again, can Aaron Gordon make that leap? Jonathan Isaac might be one of the most talented guys on the team. I'm a big believer in Markelle Fultz. Mo Bamba, not as much. If you want more, 8-minute bonus video, all of exclusive clips on the Magic, even more in-depth, detailed thoughts on them at patreon.com/ScoutWithBryan. Subscribe today to unlock that. Make sure you check out, thumb up, subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching.